Hello and welcome to Good or Bad. Jurassic Park was such a big hit that a sequel was inevitable, and in 1997, we got one. This movie has received a lot of hate and criticism over the years, and I am here today to find out whether it really is the letdown sequel everyone claims it to be. Featuring returning cast members Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm and Richard Attenborough as John Hammond, as well as newcomers Julianne Moore and Vince Vaughn playing Sarah Harding and Nick Van Owen. In the aftermath of Jurassic Park, everyone was forced to keep quiet because of a piece of paper they signed forcing them to do just that. But Ian Malcolm broke that agreement and wrote a book about it. Also, a random guy in a train said he believed him. It's so important you know that. And when confronted about this, Malcolm defended his actions by saying they covered up the deaths of 3 people. Despite post-dinosaur breakout, 4 people died. The lawyer, Nedry, Arnold and Muldoon. But when you think about it, Malcolm wouldn't have known about Nedry, so to his knowledge, his death count was correct. But anyway, John Hammond, the owner of Jurassic Park, is losing his grip on the company. And his nephew, Peter Ludlow, played by Arliss Howard, is seizing control. We find out that there is a second island where dinosaurs roam free with no fences, and this is a good idea because... No, it's a bad idea. It's a very, very bad idea! Anyway, a rich family is having a beach dinner party on the island, and their daughter is attacked by by little green dinosaurs. And Ludlow uses this incident to gain more control. So to counter this, John Hammond sends a small group of people to investigate the island and see that these dinosaurs don't need human intervention and that the island should just be left alone. He tries to recruit Malcolm into this group, but he declines. But then he finds out Sarah Harding already went ahead. So he turns it into a rescue mission and heads to the island with Hammond's little gang. So the basic premises of this movie is Ludlow wants to use the dinosaurs for what Hammond originally wanted, but Hammond realises that they are just animals and just need to be left alone. No human intervention whatsoever, which I kind of like. It brings me back to the first movie where they were saying dinosaurs are these powerful forces of nature that must be treated differently. But this movie's opinions on dinosaurs align with my own, that they are just animals. Granted, more dangerous animals, but still, just animals. So about 2 seconds after they get there, they find Sarah and she finds trouble, but they all come out of it okay. And then we see Ludlow's crew. Oh, hang on. Before we see Ludlow's crew, we see the child for this movie. Malcolm's daughter Kelly, played by Vanessa Lee Chester. Now we see Ludlow's crew. They are coming to the island to capture some dinosaurs and put them on display in a zoo he owns in San Diego. With them is Peter Postlethwaite's character Roland, who has been put in charge of this expedition. The movie tries to make us feel bad by making us watch as they capture some dinosaurs. But it's okay because our heroes release them, causing numerous off-screen casualties. Go heroes! But Roland's ultimate ambition is to hunt a tyrannosaur. So he finds the T-Rex nest and stakes the baby down as bait. But our heroes free the baby and take it back to their trailer to give it some medical attention, when Mummy and Daddy come knocking. See, nighttime check, rain check, mud check, vehicles check. Do you think it's possible that they are trying to recreate the T-Rex scene from the first movie? Because I think it's fucking obvious. No, wait! They can't possibly be trying to recreate it because this time there are 2 Rexes and they have a trailer instead of 2 cars, which is bigger, therefore better. No, wait, it's not really better, is it? But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, because this scene for the most part is actually well done. The way we see the dinosaurs through the barred windows actually looks pretty cool. And yeah, granted, it does look like it's just trying to one-up the scene from the first movie, but isn't that most sequels in a nutshell? The audio isn't as good as the first movie, the Rex's sound effects aren't as diverse or as engaging. So after they give the baby back to the Rexes, they knock the trailer off the cliff and kill someone. And this is obviously better than the scene in the first movie where the lawyer dies because that was only 1 T-Rex. This is 2, therefore it's better. he gets ripped apart by 2 of them. But never mind about how many T-Rexes there are, because the others do survive. They are rescued by Ludlow's crew. You know, the guys that they imprisoned on the island by having their communication systems destroyed by all the escaped dinosaurs? You know, those guys. So, because they are all stranded, they head into the jungle to an old InGen communications building. And we are soon met with yet another death in the form of the little green dinosaur getting revenge for an earlier scene. But never mind that, because it's time for the T-Rex to get another scene! The movie contradicts the first movie's T-Rex by having this Rex hunt via sense of smell rather than just eyesight. Well, maybe this T-Rex just likes to do things differently. The Rex chases a bunch of people who are running away on foot. Okay, before I go on, remember in the first movie where they said they clocked the T-Rex at about 30 miles an hour, and it even almost caught up to that Jeep? Well, you know all those people that in this movie are running away from the T-Rex on foot? This one can't catch up to them. Now, 30 miles an hour and can't catch up to them. Was the one in the first movie just the Olympic runner of T-Rexes or something? So disaster after disaster, they have to go through raptor territory in order to call for help. You know, I seem to remember they had to do something very similar to that in the first movie. Only this time there's more people and more raptors. I'm beginning to sense a pattern here. So Nick gets to the comm centre and calls for the helicopter while the others keep the raptors busy. But ultimately they all get on the helicopter safely, except for all those people in Ludlow's crew that got horribly killed by raptors. Forget about them, nobody cares about them. Meanwhile, Roland has captured a T-Rex and they are shipping him off to San Diego. Back home, Malcolm hears about this and goes to the docks to protest. But the giant T-Rex has managed to escape the cargo hold, kill everyone on the boat without destroying anything on the boat, and then lock himself back in the cargo hold. Damn, this Rex has skills! But can he sneak up on raptors? Can he sneak up on raptors? So the T-Rex breaks out for the second time and rampages through the streets of San Diego, which I'll admit is pretty damn cool. We also find out that the baby is in Ludlow's zoo, so Malcolm and Sarah go to get the baby to lure the T-Rex back to the boat. They achieve this and Ludlow gets his comeuppance in the form of the baby T-Rex eating him. Isn't karma sweet? The T-Rex then gets sedated and shipped back to the island while Hammond is on TV giving us a speech about how dinosaurs are animals and we should stay the hell away. The end! So was The Lost World the letdown sequel everyone said it was? Well, I kind of answered that in the review for the first movie when I said that no sequel of any worth was made. But that didn't mean that all the sequels were bad movies. No, not at all. It just meant that they weren't good as sequels. Because I believe a movie can only be a good sequel if it adds something more to the franchise, such as The Dark Knight or Aliens. There was a place for the writers to go, more they could tell, but when your movie is about a zoo that is filled with dinosaurs that goes tits up, that makes a good movie, but not a promising franchise. It was the same case with Jaws or any other disaster movie. They tell their story, you have fun watching it, then that's it, no more, because it's not rich story material. And yes, I know there was a sequel book, but this goes into far more depth on the scientific impacts it had on the characters and the world around it, so there was more for the writer to tell. But the movies were far less complex. All they wanted to do was entertain, not provoke thoughts. So yes, The Lost World is a letdown sequel, but it's the genre's fault, not the movies. And that doesn't make it unenjoyable, because at times it was actually quite fun. And while this film is fun, it does not one-up the first movie, except in one way. It acknowledges that dinosaurs are just animals. It also explains that the lysine contingency in the first movie wouldn't have even let them wait out the dinosaurs, because Sarah explains that the herbivores eat food rich in lysine, and the carnivores eat the herbivores, so they still get their lysine. Ha! First movie's lysine contingency, you fail! I was right all along! But anyway, the effects aren't as good as the first movie, the soundtrack is still just as good, and the acting is about the same, with Jeff Goldblum's character still being the most entertaining character in the movie. And there's more of him this time, so that's a plus, or an attempt to one-up. So yes, because of the blatant attempts to outdo Jurassic Park, coupled with the fact that a sequel was never going to work, I do think this is a bad movie. But an enjoyably bad movie. You have been watching Good or Bad, and I'll see you next time.